All right.
It's been an interesting day. How are you doing over there?
All right. What's been interesting for you?
Well, we got a report from someone who apparently asked for infrastructure to stop, but it didn't. And now basically I'm going to be looking into why that happened. Um, so it's one of those, like, we get all sorts of fun mysteries that come in to the support department. But for you guys, let's figure out. So I think we left off on, my guess is that the UBL limits aren't quite set up right for Maya. I think we should be able to get through pretty quick.
Yeah, cool. So, can you see my screen, I guess? Let's see. Share screen. Share screen. Click anywhere you want to share.
Oh, it's coming along. There we go. I can see it now.
Yeah, try to just get everything up for you here.
Yeah, that looks good. Instance forward is running and looks like it is updating. Actually, it's not updating a status, is it? Let's see. None of them look like the last status update happened today, so I don't think anything's running properly. Or the things are running well locally, but I don't know if you actually got a stack that's running successfully right now.
I don't have anything running right now.
Okay, cool. Oh, you've got that delete in progress thing. Has it been sitting there for a while?
Yeah, that
delete
one
in progress?
Yeah.
Yeah, before you start a new one, let's clean up that one.
Okay.
It shouldn't be too hard. If you, close this one right now, and then right-click on it, and there should be an option to, you'll have to close that other window because it's a modal. It won't let you right-click, yeah. So if you right-click on that one, you have to be a super user to get the additional options, I think. No, you totally are. That's weird. Oh, okay. If it's delete in progress, you won't be able to get the additional options. You actually have to go to the web interface to be able to clean it up. Looks like you're already there. So all we have to do under services, look for CloudFormation. I would just type it in. There's so many options.
Yeah.
CloudFormation should be all one word. Yeah, there you go. And this is the thing. Okay. So that was created on the 9th. You can delete that guy.
Yeah. Actions, delete stack.
Yeah, and delete stack. Yep. And that should clean it up. So. And then, just to be sure, let's also go to EC2. So under services, this is going to take a little while to delete, but under services, go to EC2. Yep, the first one, and then we'll see if your gateway's running. No, looks good. So no running instances. So you didn't hit the same thing the other guy did. Yeah, which is good. Like, I haven't seen it personally, but like, we get these requests and that say like I would basically look over the requests that come into premium support. So I don't know if you know this, but you can actually buy support through AWS, and they will also support deadline. So like, if you need something at 3 in the morning, like an instance increase and things like that, you can actually just like cut a ticket to them. It's like a little known secret. Okay, but it looks like we're pretty good now. I think you can start an infrastructure there. It likely would have started anyway, but it always makes you feel better to have it clean up a little bit.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, so that all looks good.
And does it matter this infrastructure name? Like,
no.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think.
No, you can name it whatever you like. Yeah, it's mostly for you more than anybody else.
And one thing I wasn't sure is, like, this says it's been running for. This doesn't cost anything though, right?
No, it doesn't. The only thing that will, like, the big things that will cost is actually the instances running.
Right.
Even the infrastructure, it's like maybe like $1 a week or something. It's not that expensive. The S3 bucket storage can cost a little bit, but like I think I pay like 2 pennies for the 5 gigs I've got in EC2 right now, so it's also not that expensive.
Right.
So the big stuff is really that running instance and any of the other ones gone. So that's coming along, and then what we're expecting to see is that there will be a new stack. Okay, we've got Maya starting. I guess, yeah, if you want to submit a job.
Yeah, I was going to test that
do
just
that.
to get it ready.
Sure.
And one thing I saw is I have and maybe I can ask for this. So I have my V-Ray things, and am I mistaken that I can forward my render nodes to the bring your own license? Can I forward that?
Yeah, you totally can.
Okay, cool.
Actually, we can do that right now.
Yeah, if you can show me how to do that,
send
because like I saw,
Sure.
like I forget where was it?
It's under limits. It's
Setting my
you've got
limits.
one. You've got a limit tab. Yeah, you've got one actually already there. But yeah, you can right click on it and go to properties. You can modify it. Yeah, and modify limit properties. And then so it looks like you've got. We want to do the opposite. So we probably want to use. Well, I guess it depends on how many you're going to be using. So we got usage-based licensing, V-Ray. And you want to click on enable existing license usage. And you want to say how many licenses you want it to use.
Let's say like.
And then what'll happen is, yeah, that looks good. And then what'll happen is after it's used 4, then it'll switch over to using UBL.
Okay.
So and that explains why we saw that message in the slave log where it said like, basically not enough instances for V-Ray.
Well, it was,
yeah,
I
and
forget what the other thing it was asking for the port forwarding and the domain.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how that applied to this because this is, I mean, I see how this is like whenever it's going to use this and then it fills over and uses that, but I wasn't sure how how Deadline will know to go to this and reference the dongle. But anyways.
Yeah, actually, it's a little bit magical. So there's this. So this is going to be, this is the switching control to say, okay, use what you have currently configured or use UBL. So this is going to work now. The other thing about UBL count, you've got it set to 0 right now, which means that it will use none. And that was the error we got where it said like, okay, the limit was 0. So if you set it to 1, at least it's going to try and check out 1 UBL license for V-Ray.
Okay.
But I think that's looking good. So you can click OK. And then I'll show you the next thing to configure, and this may take effect immediately. It may not. So if you can close the limit panel out, you have one actually docked to the background there. So with the AWS portal, so you'll see there's little tabs at the top of there. Yeah, you can switch between them. That's okay. That's okay. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff on the screen. So if you go back to the portal though, and what you want to do is configure that infrastructure. So if you click or configure the deadline stuff, so click the little gear actually. Yeah, and so under advanced, what this is going to show you is this is your configuration. Totally. So you have to add another one. You have to add another one for V-Ray. So you'll want to add the IP address or host name of your your V-Ray license server. Oh. Yeah, you can edit it. Yeah, you can just click on edit.
Got 1.92. Do I need? And then the port is. Do I put that here?
Yeah, you put that there.
Yeah, it was like whenever I hit OK, it flags the error and say I'm using the same port twice.
Okay. Oh, you know, it might be the vendor name and port is the same.
So would this be the 3034?
That's a good question. I need to talk to the guys because V-Ray doesn't have a vendor daemon.
Okay. So what do you think here?
I mean, we could put whatever you want. Let's just do 3035. I'm trying to remember what the other V-Ray ports are, but we just do 3035 just so it doesn't intercept it. I need to talk to. Let me just put a feeler out so that I can remember to talk to him afterwards. That looks good. I think you can click OK on that one.
Yeah, no, that worked. I didn't know I could just do it one away. I wasn't sure if that would. Whatever.
Oh yeah, no, it's basically just going to forward another port. My concern right now is that I don't remember how it's going to populate that information. So typically what happens is the local CloudLink service is going to connect to the gateway instance, and I think it should forward the port then. If it doesn't seem to be working, we can kick the local cloud link, and it should reset those ports. And normally, like if you before you'd created an infrastructure, it would have set that up. So
Looks like this is ready to go.
Yep, looks like it. Yeah, and you can just start a spot fleet of 1, and we'll see if it picks up. We can always scale it to a bigger number. In fact, you can make a spot fleet of 0, which is kind of funny. And then once the request has gone through, you can scale it up.
Okay, there it is. Yeah, and the other thing is I got an error. I'm not sure if that was just something going around, but I think it got to request type and it would just error out. But anyways, I'm not sure if that was just something I was doing or what.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think, does this have, yeah, okay. Now, while this is going, should we go to the limits and change the Maya limit?
Yeah, we probably should. So the interesting thing, if you're using a default, Maya is going to need UBL. It's kind of funky. The problem is we're using a different version of Maya, one that not a lot of people have heard of. It's called Maya IO.
Yeah, I remember some. I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, it's explicitly meant. I don't think it's built just for us, but it's explicitly meant for using on the cloud. So in this case, you will want to set the UBL count to something other than 0, and we will have to buy some test licenses, which is difficult. The testing bundle is pretty cheap. I think it's $10, but it is something we're gonna have to buy to get to the next step.
Is that purchased through the ThinkBox marketplace?
Yeah, through the marketplace.
Yeah, I purchased some of those.
Okay, excellent.
Hang on, let me pull that up. I don't remember where the hell it is, but here we go. So is it different than this guy?
No, that's the one. Yeah, you got it.
Okay, yeah.
And you should have gotten an email. If we should check and make sure everything's set up. We may have already, but we want to make sure that that the URL is set up for UBL and that that's all good to go.
Yep.
You got it?
Is this what we're looking for?
Yeah, that's the one. Yep. The license over URL and the activation code.
Okay, so where does that guy go? Let's see. So anyways, I need to put this at 1 anyway, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 1 is better than none. Otherwise, it won't go at all.
Right, just won't kick off. All right. So where do I need to put in the
Yeah, that's actually in the configure repository options under usage-based licensing. So under tools, and then and then usage-based licensing is at the very bottom. Yep, and looks like you already have, so that's looking good. We can double check.
Let's just paste over it.
So, yeah, certainly looks fine. Yep. Yeah, that looks good. Mhm. And the other thing you want to do is disable web forwarding. Everyone thinks you need it, you don't. Yep.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, I was just talking to someone about that today.
There's some checkbox or something in the manual. I can't remember when I turned it back on or.
Yeah, it's meant for something very specific, and very few people are in that specific use case. It's really when you've got a bunch of render nodes that aren't allowed to connect to the internet. It allows you to push connections through the license forwarder, so that you're not in that case right now. Okay, so that's all looking good. So deadline also. Did you buy? You brought up the form, and I totally didn't see it. Did you also buy deadline testing minutes?
No. Do we need to do that?
Okay. You can, but don't worry about it. So the big issue is we've got a third machine now in your slave list. So you'll see it's that peachy color. That means that it's having licensing issues. Just delete the other two. Yeah, you can just delete those guys. Yep. And what'll happen is it'll detect that it's the only slave in here, and it
Okay, so
should
that's
enter
right.
what's
It
called
only
license free mode.
It only does 2, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you'll see it turn white now, so it's happy. It's
Gotcha.
now in license free mode. So that's looking good. And yeah, we should be good to go. So now the other pieces are going to be making sure that you've applied the limits to that job. And so there's a lot of steps. So yeah, if you right click on the job and then go to modify job properties, it looks like a machine limit. And we've got, you want to go to limits, which is just below that. Looks good. Okay, so we've got my and V-Ray. So those are great. And then click OK. And the only other thing we can look at too is going to be, well, there's two things we can look at, but the easiest one is going to be if you right click on the slave there and go to connect to slave log. Yeah, the fourth option. And what this should do is let us stream the log and take a look at sort of what the slave is up to. So let's see. So check path mapping. It should have picked up the job then. Let's see. Preliminary check. Scheduler is not whitelisted for the limit. Oh, okay. The slave. Oh, let's go check the limits again. There's this really awesome. I'll show you something kind of nice. If you right click on the job itself, there's an option to say find render candidates. It's almost right in the middle. It's about 3 down from where you were. A little bit more. There you go. If you click on that one, it'll tell you some warnings. So it'll find that it says the slave is not whitelisted on the job's machine limit. So it could be that the machine limit has changed. So if you click OK, I should have caught this before because you totally had it open to that panel. If you modify the job parameters, properties, and under it's one up from where you are now. So machine limits. So you'll see here there's a whitelist. You don't need, if there's nothing listed on the right-hand side, you don't need a whitelist or a blacklist. It will just ignore it entirely. So if you double click on that, it'll move it to the left side there, and now this job should pick up. Because you had it whitelisted to the old machine, and the old machine is gone now. So it's kind of meaningless.
So I don't normally need to have, because I remember we had done something.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just bring this up. So I just need to set the limits. Is it just the limit group or dependency? Which one do I need to set? I was trying to remember.
Just the limit groups.
Okay.
Yeah, just the limit groups. There's also a way, if you're always going to use UBL, there are ways actually to just guarantee that if you're submitting a Maya job, it will always apply the Maya UBL limit and the V-Ray limit. But it should have picked up now. Let's see. We can check the slave log again. Yeah. See what's going on here. job chooser found no jobs. So if you right click, it will scrolling. Yeah. And so it says, okay, so license free mode. Then it says licensing errors category. Feature is not available, deadline metered. So it's trying to use UBL but failed, but that's okay. Performance and on preliminary pools with scheduling pool priority first in, first out. Checks and path mapping. Preliminary check, slave is not whitelisted still for that limit. Okay, did we not click OK on that dialog? Go to modify job properties again. And then, no, it's good. That's odd. Okay, I'll whitelist and limit. So, and the limit has this really funky ID because it's the jobs limit. No, that's perfectly fine. Slaves again. Yeah, everything on this is okay. If you click OK, do we still have that error when you check render candidates? Sorry, we're jumping all over the place. But if you right click on the job and find render candidates, I'm kind of curious to see because you still actually have the slave log in the background there. Yeah, that's good. Able to render job, and then and you still got the slave panel on the just behind the monitor here. Yeah, so just behind there, there's still a slave log.
Oh, I see.
If you, yeah, right there. So if you unpause it, we're just gonna see if it's gotten further now or if it's still complaining about the same stuff. Yeah, it's still saying slave's not whitelisted for that limit.
Should we resubmit the job or?
Sure, that's not a bad idea.
All right.
Yeah, because that'll create a new limit group as well. And it's not blacklisted, so there or not. What's it called? There's also a bad slave list. So if a slave failed to render a job multiple times in a row, it would get added to a list. So. Okay, I'm seeing it say return at for the stub holder. So it is doing the checkout now. So IP, it's checking out the limit because what it's supposed to be doing is checking out the limit and see if we can go. So preliminary check, whitelisted for 5B76BCD. The product name could not initialize. Here we go. This is our problem. Could not initialize space licensing or Maya. Either the product name is not valid or the product is only available on AWS portal instances. Yeah, that seems, yes, these are AWS portal instances. Okay, could not initialize use space licensing. Can I, can you copy that line and paste it to me? I'm going to send it to one of our developers here. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, yep, you just right click copy.
Copy, and I put it in the chat here.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Is there a way I can copy and paste it in here? Oh, there it is. Done.
Yeah, I think you can just, if it's selected, yeah, you can just copy and paste.
I didn't realize I was right on top of the box there.
No, that's cool. So cannot initialize usage-based licensing for Maya. Either product name is, not valid or product is only available on AWS portal instances. Let's see, the slave, because one of the unusual things, normally people aren't in usage-based or license-free mode. The slave is actually in license-free mode. Yeah. Just asking him what does that particular check. See if we can work around it, or if because the only unusual thing is you're in license free mode, which people normally aren't. But it shouldn't impact this.
License?
I don't want you to have to, but it would likely get us a little further. The license border on the infrastructure.
They're $50. How much are they?
I think it's cheaper than that. Let me double check. Um, oh, okay. We have an error on the marketplace right now.
Oh yeah, I just got it.
That's incredibly scary. One moment. Let me just light that fire under someone.
Okay. Deadline. Can I get a license through the AWS console?
No, you can't. You can only get it that way.
What's that?
You can only get it through that marketplace.
Okay.
There is not a way to get it other ways. I wonder if that's related. I've also saw that your AWS portal link has gone on and off a couple of times, but
Yeah, I did see
okay. Okay, so it's saying that we get an error from Maya UBL. And yeah, Maya IO will not use your local Maya licenses, which isn't for, well, I mean, I guess normally at render time, Maya doesn't require licenses. So, this was supposed to be quick, and it's turned into a bit of a tricky situation. So, okay. So I'm gonna go back to Ryan G. So yeah, I'm basically waiting. Is this a custom AMI? Nope, vanilla. I wonder if there's anything else I can check here. See if there's other parts of the internet that are down. It's not unheard of. So let's see. What are we looking for? So manager. The flexinodoperations.com is part of our UBL stuff. So let's see if that's working. Yeah, it looks good. Okay, so that's good. Still waiting on Ryan, one of our developers here, to give me any other tips on what this, because this is the first time I've seen this error in particular. So mystery is untold. Okay. So what can we do in the meantime while we wait for Ryan? Because we need UBL to be on for it to actually check anything out. We know that that's why it's not picking up work right now. We can, like, I really want to know what that test is behind the scenes. Let's see. Should have an LF init file that lets it use Maya. Oh, interesting. So we're basically just talking about like what that check is doing in the background. He's saying that there might be something on the talking about how the mechanism works, then what would trigger that error. What can we do in the meantime? I hate doing this. I don't like restarting things just for the sake of restarting things, but maybe we'll give it a try. If you go to the web interface for AWS, we'll just kick the machine. We'll have it reboot itself. So go back to your browser, and then click on running instances. It says 0 now, but I think you're going to have more than 0 at this point. You should have 2. There we go. So Deadline Slave is the one we want to try and reboot. If you right-click on it, there should be an option under instance state to reboot. So yeah, the 4th option there. Yep. I'm still updating info for Ryan here. Credits. Well, unknown. And then if that doesn't work, you might very well restart the license forwarder or the gateway. Sorry. I'm trying to think if the existing info searcher may have caused us any trouble. I don't know. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, the existing infrastructure. Something that Ryan's bringing up though is he's curious if the regions that are defined are the same for the license forwarder versus the slave. Now that's regions are like a deadline jargon, and there's actually a column for it in each of these things. So under the license forwarder panel, if you can scroll a little bit over to the right, what we're looking for, so it's in the upper center of the monitor right now. If you can scroll over, we're looking for a column that says region. I don't see it. That's handy. No region column on the LF. Yeah, I don't see it there. And then we can check the region on the slave. I know it's there. So if you scroll over on the slave, there's a column called region. Yeah, there it is. Oh, it's running away. There it goes. It's called stack D526. Stack D526. Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay. So we'll see what happens when it comes back online. It's interesting the portal link is going offline and online. The check for that. Yeah, the check for that, what it does is there's a port number that we try and connect to. Oh, does the license forwarder name match that? Interesting. Okay, apparently the license forwarder, that's what its name is actually. I'd forgotten entirely. So it doesn't need a region column. If you can scroll over to the left now in the stack list, we just want to make sure it starts with 5260. Okay. Okay. So the slave's back. And it's still not picking up anything. We're super stuck at the moment. Okay, so that sucks, man. And this is the first time I've seen it. Although someone a little bit more knowledgeable than me has just stepped in, I'm gonna ask them a quick question and see if they've seen it and if they've got any
Sure.
advice for me. Cool. Okay, just a sec. So good. Okay, so I talked with Charles. Charles is pretty smart
Okay.
as far as AWS portal stuff goes. And one of the things we were kind of curious about is there are certificates that need to be uploaded for the license for it to work successfully, and it could be that just the error is wrong. So the way we check for this is in that little gear for the AWS portal configuration. There's an advanced section. I don't know why it's called advanced, but because it's required for everybody. But that cert directory is important. So it looks like documents, Luma, certificates, and it's on this machine. So that's looking good. Aha! It's called Maya-copy.
So,
Oh my god.
so that needs to be Maya.
Yeah. Damn it.
I think I can't remember when that happened.
I feel dumb. Why is it not helpful? Oh my god. We're trying to find new ways to deal with this. I think in the future our goal is to not not have that be a requirement, that either we can have them in the database, just so that you don't have to worry about them on your file system. So here's the other fun part. So when you click on that, so you can, if you click OK, there's a button we can use to upload new certificates. And I think, I'm trying to remember where it is exactly. I think you can try and right-click on the Create Complete, on the certificate, and refresh AWS Portal certificate. AWS Portal connections? No.
Services connection?
No. Oh, upload certificates. It's the third option.
So would I do that one there?
Yep. Let's do one.
Let's see what happens here.
Oh man, I hope that's it. I mean, I don't even know when it would pull them down. Because what's going to happen is the license forwarder is going to have to notice the certificate's changed, and I don't know what sort of tooling that we have. Just asking if this guy knows if it'll take effect immediately, or if we have to do something clever like restart the. We'd have to restart the license forwarder. So the license forwarder should be available. Okay, well it hasn't yet. But I guess we could check to see if there's new reasons why the slave can't check out licensing. If the bucket's available, yeah. Oh yeah, that's fine, right? It's fine. Might be. Yeah, it could be. Let's see. So for each slave you should run. Okay, that's fine. Right, slave is still not whitelisted. Okay. Well, let's take a look at your. I know where it's going to be stored in S3. So if we, well, I'm not sure if that's part. This is the very mysterious process of getting those certificates up there, but we can check it anyway in the web interface, the AWS web interface. Do you mind if I record this, by the way? I just like the amount of issues we're having is pretty funny. So I'd like to record it. Let's see more. No, it's totally not you. This has been slightly more complicated than I'd. Oh, okay, so that's all running. So we want to see if the certificate was uploaded to the S3 bucket or not.
How do you see that?
Yeah, so under services, we want to go to S3. Yeah, click on that one, and then there's another service. Yeah, S3, got it. Okay, and then it's going to be in one of those stack buckets. So probably the newest one. So of those two bottom ones, we want to get the newest. So it's the very, very bottom. Yeah, and that's where the certs should be living. Yeah, and there's actually, if you click on there, it should go into the bucket. The click is sort of weird. Like you can select it, but yeah, if you click on that link, and then it just certs, yeah, you got it. And here we go. So it is totally uploaded. That's good. So you can see it from 238.
So should we delete
yeah, you can probably
this guy?
Yeah, delete that one, and the one above it. We're not sure if you need either of those two. Yep. Yeah, and that one.
Yeah, maybe that'll help.
Maybe. It's weird that it would be reading it directly from the bucket, though. I guess the other piece is going to be deleting that IP address from the local cert directory as well. What we might very well do, and this seems a bit odd, but we might actually try and create a new stack again, because that's, considering there's some mysteries going on here. I mean, part of me wants to figure it out in depth, but I think at this point I want you to just get working, and we'll go from there later.
So I need to stop this, or what?
Yeah, you want to stop that one. Yeah, stop that guy, and then stop the infrastructure.
And I'm going to start another fleet.
Yep. It's interesting that can you close and open the monitor as well? I want to see if, like, we'll start from scratch, but I also want to see if that fleet that we asked to delete actually closed. Oh.
Should I have done that?
Sure. No, yeah, whatever. It'll be fine. The background operation was destroying the infrastructure. So what we can do is double check. We can double check the interface. Like the CloudFormation templates. So we've cleaned up the S3 stuff, so we should be good there. Now the next, I would probably want to go back to the CloudFormation setup. Oh yeah, super user mode's good, and then you can make a new portal panel, and then that looks good. Okay, so they are clear. And then we can also check something else that's going to save you a lot of sanity later. Oh, no, they are there. So let's just do this for you. It's going to make your life a lot better. If you go to Tools and then Configure User Groups, yeah, it's a little higher. It's about the 8th from the top.
Manage.
Yeah, Manage User Groups.
Okay,
it's going to one up. Yeah, there you go. And then click on everyone. And then go to UI features. It's the tab on the top far right.
Oh, great.
And AWS Portal, if you set enabled or inherited, it won't just go away every time you close the monitor.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. It's there for security reasons because it's really meant for like sysadmins to deal with. But we'll deal with that later. Cool. So it looks like both stacks are actually still alive. So I'd like to destroy them both real thoroughly. So yeah, you can try and stop infrastructure and do it for both. Yeah, stop infrastructure and then do the same thing for the one above it. it's likely, yeah, and that one stops Waffleet. Okay, and then to make sure, if we go to the AWS console, I want to go back to the CloudFormation. It's one of the first ones we looked at. Yeah, CloudFormation, all one word. Yeah. And cool. So we got 3 deletes in progress on that one. We got to create complete, and we got a delete failed. So let's deal with the delete failed first. If you click on it, yeah, there should be an option to delete it again. So if you go to other actions at the top there, it's top right. Yeah, delete stack. Now this is supposed to be, yeah, and oh, so you have to click on the client bucket there. It's warning you that that's got some stuff in it and it doesn't want to delete. We fixed that. I don't remember if it is in Service Pack 16 or 17, but if it fails to create for any reason, it's supposed to roll back and not just sit there with a bunch of resources in use. But that's looking good. So we got that one done. And then if you go back to the list of stacks, okay, delete in progress. If you click on that stack, it's going to be similar. We're not going to ask it to delete just yet, but you'll see down here. So it's got delete in progress. So it's trying to clean up reverse forwarder, which I think is the instance. Yeah. Interesting that it's still called the reverse forwarder there. We changed its name a while ago to gateway. But anyway, so we got that one. Public routes, private routes. So we're just waiting for this all to clean up. And we'll see. Maybe we'll just force it to die. So if you go to other actions, this is basically what Deadline's trying to do. So if you go to delete stack and then just hit it, it should, yeah, 4 more events available to display. So it looks like it's getting pretty close. I'm also seeing that the spot fleet's not quite, there we go, canceled. Okay, good stuff. So that's all coming along. So it's killed the forwarder, which is good. Cool. All right, I think we're in a pretty good spot. It's definitely destroyed the forwarder, which is one of the more important pieces. And then, yeah, I think we can make a new stack now, and we'll see. I'll guarantee we start from a, yeah. And the reason why it's all designed this way is it's really designed so you can destroy it and recreate it. So like if there is a weird state that we can deal with it. Ideally, we find out like what the cause of it was. And in this case, for us to do some deep troubleshooting with you, it would take an additional 25 minutes to connect to the gateway and start poking around. So, like I said, wow. I'd really just want to get your I would just want to get your rendering for now, and then if we hit it again, if I hit it again with somebody else, then we'll dive deeper. We try not to dive into deep problems if you're the first guy who sees something. Usually, it's a bit challenging. So we want to make sure that there's a couple more before we start doing a real deep dive on it.
Right.
But that's looking good. So we got create in progress. That's excellent. And it's going to take a little while to create. You can, if you want, you can go back to the stacks and watch it create. It'll be the opposite of the stuff.
It'll be in here?
Yeah, actually. Yeah, if you refresh it, you should see a new stack.
Oh, okay, cool. Could you create a stack here that would populate down in here?
Almost. There's like very specific, so the way the stacks work, they have like a construction template. So it's this big JSON file that says, this is what we want you to build. You could theoretically do it, but there's a bunch of data that we have to populate in there.
I was just curious. I'm not brave enough to do that.
There's a lot. It's huge. Like you'll see it, like all the different pieces it's working on. Like if you click on stack FA1, you'll see everything it's doing. So create complete. There's a lot of steps. Only one of them is starting up that instance. Like only one thing in here actually costs a significant amount,
Right.
and that's at the very top is that license or the reverse forwarder. Sorry. Oh, they're not sorted. This is me being a little green, but yeah, there's one instance that gets created as part of this, and that's really the gateway, and it will provide basically connection from your office to the cloud and back. So okay, and this thing, yeah, it says 5 more events to display. If you click on it, it'll update, but not before then.
Yeah.
So close. Oh my goodness. So I'm hoping that it's just that one badly named cert that'll do it. Okay. And then what else we got? So we got 2 jobs. One of them has a mystery limit for some weird reason. And then we will... Yeah, there's really nothing else. We're just waiting on this one stack to create.
All good.
The good news is the marketplace has come up. Apparently, there is some sort of major outage on Google, and our third-party host seems to be running on there.
Oh,
So yeah.
so where do I go to buy?
Yeah, under marketplace. If you go to buy, oh yeah, this page layout's a little different. You should be able to go to purchase at the top there.
Okay.
Yep, just the drop down. And then the second one is actually the Thinkbox place. Yeah.
Okay. There we go.
That's the one. Yep, and then you can go to usage-based licensing, which is the third option at the top. It occurs to me now that every single one of our pages has a different header.
Right.
Like, that's real good. I'm going to make a note of that. Be like, we should really be consistent, guys.
So should I buy this guy? Get like $50?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, 50 hours for $10.
Let's see. Must agree.
Yeah, it's like ideal scenario.
Let's see.
If you want to stop sharing your screen as well, feel free.
Oh yeah. That's fine.
I'm also recording this. Here, let me stop
that's
recording
true.
then.
Yeah,
It would be best if you. Yeah, I don't want to have to deal with sanitizing that at the end. So let's just turn it off and hope for the best.
All right. Hopefully it's stopped. I think it is.
Yeah, I can't see it. We're all good.
Yeah, forgot about that part.
Yeah, I did it first too, and I was like, wait a minute.
Okay. Switch on. Okay, cool.
All right. And the create's complete, so we can launch our fleet of 1 and see how that goes. Mhm. There's an error attempting to communicate with the AWS portal central server on your infrastructure. Possible cause of this error is 401 being blocked. That explains the clicking on and off. I think it's okay if you click OK or click yes on this. That seems to be something intermittent with your communication with that thing. The other thing I just noticed is the license forwarder hasn't started on your, the license forwarder hasn't started on the gateway yet, which is an interesting issue. Another thing too, right now when you start a spot fleet, the bid price is set to exactly the market value.
Mhm.
So if you see your instances just being killed over and over again, it could very well be that the marketplace value went up by like 1/10 of a penny.
Right.
So that can definitely happen. We'll see it come up here. I'm trying to think now if this comes up and the license forwarder and the gateway isn't running, because there's 2 components actually that are running on the gateway. So one of them is the license forwarder for dealing with UBL licensing, and the other one is called the deadline. Well, it's Nginx that talks to your local RCS. But it looks like your stack is up now, which is looking good. So it just updated 8 seconds ago. It's looking good, so that's excellent. So we've got our license forward running. Oh, and then we just have to wait for that slave to join in on the slave side.
Should I remove this one?
You can if you want, yeah. It's not a bad idea. And we see if everything's gone to plan. Because I'm gonna have to learn a little bit about the whole mile locking business. That's not good. The fact that it refused to start up because of it. Okay. Yeah, if you want to check too, you can look at the EC2 panel, and what I expect to see is not the panel, but the web interface. What I expect to see is the interfaces the instances are running, and 2 running instances, and that those other 2 are terminated, and so the deadline slave is still initializing. You'll see under status checks, the top one says 2 of 2 checks have passed, and the top one is still booting, which is the second one from the top there. So basically waiting for that to transition into booted mode. Something fun. I don't know how deep into the tech you feel like getting, but you can actually right click on the instances and see the console. So you can actually go get system log or get instant screenshot. Either one of the 2 is kind of neat. That's the second and third from the bottom. Yeah. So this is actually taking a screenshot of the instance. So it looks like it's booted. It's super cool. Yeah. So if something like horrible happens, you can go here and see if the kernel crashed, for example. That is not a common occurrence, but every now and again I'd go and check anyway.
I always wonder
it's all
what
looking good.
happens on that end. Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's pretty mysterious in the beginning. Oh, that's perfect.
Right.
Okay, finally. So now the 2 pieces are going to be, it's going to render. Hopefully it's not a big scene. Do you have any guesses on how long it's going to take per frame?
It shouldn't be that long. It was just a little scene.
Okay. Well, it does look like it had to do with the certificate not being quite right, and then the upload not taking effect immediately. That'd be my guess. So I think what I need to do now is try and reproduce that.
No,
which I'm not overly looking forward to. That's going to take a while.
having a bad certificate.
Yeah, bad and cert, and then also renaming it,
Right.
renaming, and then re-uploading. Because that pipeline totally did not work. Okay, so we got an error. We should find out what that error is. It might be licensing. So if you right-click on so the good news is everything seems to be working, except that you're not getting frames back. So if you right-click on the job, you've got an option of view job reports. Yep. Yes, you got it. That's the one. Yep. If you click on this, this is the log that of where it was running. So it looks like the path cannot be created. Permission is denied. So this is running on a Windows instance,
Right.
which is interesting. I'd not expected that, to be honest. So viewer warning, if you scroll down, it should have what I would expect it to do. So the renderer is actually running on Linux, but it didn't change the paths. Now, this is usually caused because the asset transfer system has not been configured right. So let's see if we can configure that. That's pretty easy. So if you go to tools and then asset server, it's almost in the middle. It's got a little gear. It says configure asset server. That's the one. Yep. Okay, and so this is what it's trying to do. So this root directory here, eluma wgts, is that the same path as we see in the log? It's just sort of, you have to shuffle the windows around so we can look at both at the same time. But that's what we're looking for. So in that error at the top, because we try and do a little summary at the top. Oh, it's modal. We can't scroll, can we? Sigh.
Hang on.
Yeah, you have to close it, and we have to look at the top here. So I think that's our issue. So Luma, yeah. Well, no, it looks right. That looks pretty damn close. Configure asset server.
Yeah, it's
No, it isn't.
The renders. Yeah, so I have two things.
Okay.
So I need to edit this.
Sure. Yeah, you can actually just use Luma. Like if it's eLuma, that's enough.
Oh, okay.
It's just going to share it a little bit more.
That's fine.
Yeah. Cool. And click OK, and then click OK. Now the impact of this. Asset server cannot connect to the public address of your asset server may not be correct. Try setting the override IP. Life is hard. Okay, so the public IP address of your asset server may not be correct. Would you like to still save the setting? Yes. Because we're not setting that anywhere, so that's good. So that seems to be the issue. So we just have to. Oh yeah, you can dock it or undock it. You can pop it out, and then there's a little. Yeah, you got it. You remember. So so that's our issue right now. And when will that take effect? I think let's try suspending the job and resuming it. I'm trying to remember when it's going to pick this up. Sorry, so the guy who knows more is sitting next to me. So okay, Charles. If he didn't have his asset server configured properly and he changes the setting to have the path correct, does he have to? Ugh. Okay, fair enough. All right, so it's actually easier than I expected. Do you have the asset portal components running on this machine that we're chimed into right now?
Yeah.
So basically, if you restart the asset transfer server, it should pick it up eventually, but restarting it'll make it go a little faster. Yeah, if you go to Windows Task Manager, actually, you've jumped all over the place. But Windows Task Manager, it is actually a Windows service. Yeah, that we want to stop and start.
I know what you're talking about.
And then, yeah, we want to. You can leave the cloud link up, but we want, yeah, that's the one. And we can leave cloud link up, but we want to try and deal with Yep, AWS. That looks good. And then somewhere snuck in here, there's going to be AWS Portal Asset Server. That's the one. So you want to restart that one. Cool.
Resume this
Yep.
or restart it?
We're waiting for that offline to be not so offline anymore, but at the bottom of the monitor there. You probably could try it though. We'll see. I mean, the worst case scenario is it's not gonna pick up a job. So you know what? Let's resume it anyway. It should be fine. I'm expecting to throw another error or two, but it should be okay. Good news is the cert problem's behind us. It looks like UBL certificates are working okay. There we go. Okay. So take 2. Yeah. And drop rewards. Yeah, that's the one. And we'll see how it goes. Oh.
Completed.
Nice. Okay.
So where are these? Does it show me where the frames are spit out?
Yeah, it absolutely does. You can go, explore output, and then click on that guy, and it should open it for you.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Does that actually look like the lovely little donut?
Yeah, a little donut with a car shader on it. Yeah, and since subsurface scattering, and yeah, that's about all I had in there. I just kind of threw some stuff in there to make sure it would do it. So awesome, dude.
Yeah, better than my fuzzy donut. Cool. So it's technically working. So now you can throw some harder stuff at it and see how it does.
Okay.
I actually might have to leave you. I only blocked out about 60 minutes for this call.
Yeah, dude.
But we got it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Took a couple bumps. Cool. All right, man. And then if you have any other issues, you can let us know. We can always handle it in the ticket.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Take care.
No problem, Morgan. Have a good one.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
You too.